Good morning, fellow San Diegoans. I apologize that you can't see me very well, but I had to move from where I was hiking out at from August 13th up until February 21st, which I finally had to leave on February 22nd, which was right next door to the FBI building, right behind Walmart's on the hill. Now, I have to kind of speak low where I'm at right now, because where I'm at right now is a temporary hiking spot. Pretty soon I'm going to be going to a human trafficking place that's offering me that is offering me assistance in reference to what is happening towards me. Fellow San Diegoans, I feel pressured when I go to make a video, so sometimes I feel like I'm lost for words. And if you look at a lot of people's videos, you'll see them doing the same thing. Now, I feel pressured to hurry up and talk really fast and to make my point, and that in turn it makes me lose my train of thought a little bit. But the reason why I had to talk so low, and the reason why you can't see me very well, is because where I'm hiked out at right now, I have to be cautious about who hears me. I'm literally being electronically harassed, literally at this hiking location. Now, what fellow San Diegoans and whoever watches this video has to understand is that electronic harassment is it goes on such an unprecedented scale in certain states. They had to pass laws about it. I know of two right now, and legislation has been brought before the Senate and the House in multiple other states. The two that I know of is Michigan and Maine. Now, if you go to YouTube and type in electronic harassment and listen to the Virtual Prison USA movies, or YouTube videos, he's a doctor, okay? And he repeatedly mentions about how bad electronic harassment is in Michigan. And that's where I left and came here from. I left Michigan, went to Connecticut for a little while because I was going to connect up with the person who's the founder of Freedom Fighters for America. And he even mentioned my name, Miss Williams, on one of his talk show videos and shows that's on the internet that you can go back and listen to if you can find it. I believe it was between October 2010 and January 2011. And he literally said at the beginning as he was opening up his show for the night, yes, Miss Williams, I did receive your communication, and I just wanted to confirm that to let you know that was me. Okay, that was right around the time I was exchanging emails with Chris from Freedom Fighters for America, and I was realizing that I had to get out of Michigan because it was getting to be too heated there between catching proof that I was being gang stalked at University of Michigan, which there's a video online right now that you can type in gang stalking in U of M, and you'll literally see a video online, literally, of me catching a gang stalker who came and sat next to me and was harassing me. And you can literally flat out witness that I was being harassed at that university. Go to Google and type in organized stalking, because there's other names for gang stalking, like cause stalking, revenge stalking, organized stalking. Organized stalking is the best one to view. If you went to Google and typed in organized stalking in universities, I did the other day and got 5 million responses. Okay, 5 million. That's no accident. The San Diego police has been involved in this crime towards me literally in 3 separate calendar years. 2006, I was out here for between 34 and 39 days. I made multiple email files about what was happening towards me here in San Diego in 2006, but I didn't know it was gang stalking because I didn't find out about gang stalking until June 9, 2009. I went from 2002 up until June 9, 2009, experiencing gang stalking on a fever scale every single day and didn't have a name for it. So I didn't know how to like when I went to go attempt to make police reports before I found out that Dearborn police were connected in these expeditions. I didn't have a name to describe what was happening to me. I didn't have a name to describe the microwave auditory effect was actually electronic harassment. Go to YouTube and type in electronic harassment and look at all the multiple victims that are victims of electronic harassment. Listen to the Virtual Prison USA videos. He's a doctor, okay? there's a law in Michigan concerning electronic harassment, and if you view that law, then look at electronic harassment in reference to the Wikipedia webpage, go to Google and type in electronic harassment, then click on the Wikipedia webpage. After you do that, on there you'll see the microwave auditory effect page, okay? You'll see an option that will take you to the microwave auditory effect. Click on that. Then when you get to that, click on, go down to the external links on the microwave auditory effect, and you'll literally be able to see how they incorporate it if you thoroughly investigate the external links. It literally has a couple lines in there that talks about sentences, words, and I think it might mention phrases. Now, I have little documented proof in my backpack right now that gang stalking is directly attached to remote neural monitoring, which you can also YouTube. Listen to the NYC Chronicles for a good preliminary introduction in reference to how targets suffer as a result of being remotely neurally monitored. When a target is a target of gang stalking, which is also called organized stalking, they're also targets of remote neural monitoring and electronic harassment. They're also subjected to scalar, projected, audible, distinguishable signals. Okay. Now, I used to be an electrical engineering student. Okay, that was my major for quite a few years over at Henry Ford Community College, and I studied it extensively offline. Okay, I know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a book online right now. In fact, listen to the videos. John Hall, A Satellite Terrorism, A New Breed. That's a book, and he's got satellite terrorism videos, and he's also got videos. Also listen to, go to YouTube. This is very informative, detailed, descriptive information that I am regurgitating to you right now, because it will help you see the factual realities in reference to what's really happening towards me. And you know what these people do, the ones that are connected to police? Well, listen, go to YouTube and type in, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Darn it. Oh, go to Google and type in "A Gang Stalker Confesses." Look for it, you'll find it. It's a manifesto of an actual, literal person who is a manager and director in gang stalking expeditions. And he flat out even mentions it in the manifesto that what they do is considered gang stalking, and it literally describes a good portion of what they're connected to, who they're connected to, what they're capable of, how they operate, and you would not believe what you're going to read. I just printed out a copy of it yesterday over at USD. Now, hang on. Now, what we have to understand here is that they're syndicated to the police. It flat out says it in the manifesto. They're syndicated to the police, the fire department, doctors and hospitals, judges, lawyers, and in the remote neural monitoring PDF file you'll find online, mentions social services workers. Now, what we have to understand here is that this is organized crime within the system, okay, and in the community, because they got tentacles in the system that reach out to people that have job descriptions in the community. That's where the doctors and the hospitals come in play, because it's organized crime, and they're into land co-opting, property co-opting, trust fund liquidation. They go after people on disabilities in order to take legal custody of their disability checks, to exploit their Medicare, and to exploit them sexually once they got a hold of them, because they take control of them by creating destitution of the target in order to be able to then claim the target can take care of themselves, and then cause a bunch of stuff while the target's homeless, even over a matter of years, okay, because they want documentation to be accumulated over the years through the social services, through the doctors and hospitals when the target breaks down, and then they take this accumulated documentation and use it as an excuse to contain the target by calling the target crazy, mentally ill, they can't take care of themselves. They'll make them homeless by stealing their rent. Google gang stalking, mail theft, and mail employment. And it's all over the internet that one of their main tactics is to make targets homeless. And why is that? Because they then turn and exploit the homelessness by trying to, because once they create the homelessness, the target is subjected to non-stop gang stalking along all of their routes. And that's done to break the target down, while they're also being subjected to electronic harassment, where they might camp out at, or if they go to a motel room. Even if they go to a homeless shelter, through the stalking, they know that a target goes to a homeless shelter. They then will wait till the target gets in there and signs papers. Then what they'll do is two things. They use their community connections to literally get staff on board at these homeless shelters, okay? And they'll literally approach other clients that are staying at the homeless shelter. When they leave for the day and go about their day, they identify who's staying there, between notifying the staff and getting staff cooperation as far as who's staying there, and as far as seeing who's staying there by when the fellow clients leave the homeless shelter. They'll approach them and barter with them, buy them cigarettes, small change, whatever, and get them to harass the target in the same exact way that the target's been harassed along their routes. Because the whole goal is to make a target feel that no matter where they go, they're going to be harassed in the same way. And that's done to make the body constantly feel the same physiological response in reference to how the body originally reacted and responded to the original harassment when it was perpetrated against them originally. The body reacted to it and actually stored it. It's called physical anchoring, it's called visual anchoring, and audio anchoring, where they anchor specific physiological reactions to specific words, phrases, physical gestures, and even sounds that they'll get along a target's path and repeat on a non-stop basis everywhere a target goes. And this is done to keep, because usually, go to www.gangstalkingworld.com and look under sensitization and direct conversation. It talks about a girl who was raped. They shoved a sock in her mouth as they were raping her. Then they got along her path and threw socks along her path. And that was done because when she was being raped and the sock was stuffed in her mouth, the body stored all the physiological responses it felt as it was being raped, and how the sock was associated to it as it being in her mouth. Then when they got along her route and threw socks along her route, it reminded her of the rape, and as a result, the body physiologically reacted to it. Well, this is what they do. They traumatize targets, and when they're traumatizing them, they'll associate certain physical gestures, statements, and even some sounds, as crazy as that sounds, while the trauma is occurring. Then they'll get along the target's route and repeat either the physical gestures, the statements, or the sounds along the target's route. So, because the body and the mind remembers the trauma, and it stores the physiological response that it felt when the trauma was occurring. They get along a target's route and will repeat the physical gestures, the sounds, or the phrases that were mentioned during trauma to get the body to constantly physiologically react to it, because the physiological response was stored in reference to the initial trauma. This is literally what they do. So my name is Leslie Williams. All you got to do is extensively YouTube everything I'm saying. Visual anchoring, verbal audio anchoring. This is literally what they do, and then cross-reference everything to gang stalking. It's called sensitization, and this is done to make a target feel stalked, because they got to know where you're at along your route in order to repeat these verbal statements, physical gestures, and sounds. Okay, and it's also done to couple their connections with, because they experience that on a daily basis. Then they get the police. When they see that that's not breaking the target down, they'll get the police to come across your campsite and evict you, to make you constantly be under duress of having to move constantly. I'm harassed at SDSU. I'm going there today. If anything happens about me, concerning me, around me, towards me, or against me at SDSU, whether it be in the media center, on any place in reference to any building that I'm at on SDSU today or any other day, understand this: it will be the direct concerted effort of this gang stalking expedition. Because I mind my own business everywhere I go, and my behavior is appropriate for each and every environment. I totally make sure that it is, just so, because I wear a digital tape recorder. That way, if anything happens towards me, I can say, look, I predicted it beforehand. I'm catching an audio file that it's happening, and I'm not doing nothing, because that's also caught on audio file as well, that I'm not doing nothing. Okay? So if anything happens about me or concerning me, and I catch it on audio file, and I'm predicting it beforehand, what does that say? My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California, February 25th, 2012.